Alright, back on the crush over here, about to do some cleaning. This is old Targa, sold on its way to Canada, 81 SC, be a cool project. Here's a second donor car I picked up for parts, 79 SC. Got a head-on collision donor car for crush suspension parts. Got our ducktail cut out. Engine's waiting. There's Turner over there spinning wrenches. We're going to pull the poorly installed oil lines and oil cooler off this vehicle. Give it a little clean. Out with the old, in with the new. Alright, so we tapped into the crappy wiring harness up here for this fuel pump, and we are pumping all the gas out of the tank. Catching it right here. And if you look carefully, you can see the level there. So we're about half full. If you ever wondered, and I'm sure you did, how much fuel comes out of a CIS pump, there it is. Positive displacement, so you have a return line, and it's high pressure. Now, one thing we don't want to do is overfill our gas tank and spill it all over the garage floor. That would be a no-no. Here's where we might be able to point out the color difference. You can see on the inside of the door facing that it's different color than the orange here. This is usually where I slip and cut my finger. But maybe not this time. By golly, that's really painted in there. Remember back when we were going to save the paint? Ha! Now look at us. Attacking this thing like a wild monkey. Should just be able to press these little clips in, but when it's painted in, now, thanks to the person that painted this vehicle, they didn't bother removing our windshield wiper squirters, so you can sort of see right here the difference in the paint color. So you can see underneath there is the original 156 or E7 orange, and then whatever this is out here, it's like signal orange, is a different color. I don't know if that's because they wanted it to be signal orange, or if they just didn't know. This Carrera stripe. Ooh. Oh, that's a shame. Sorry, Tyler, but I have to get some new stickers. I gotta weld these holes up. Holes welded up on the inside of the fender. Alright, back to this driver's fender. Here we have where someone drilled a hole in the fender to mount an antenna. In the inside, there are two layers here, so on the inside you've got to get through that layer here. What do you think happened there? Really? That's the way you do it? Got our antenna hole welded up. Well, as it's been in a lot of the other cases on this car, as I got into this headlight, there was a little Bondo on the front here, and it worried me a little bit, so I used the grinder and ground off some of this to check it out, and sure enough, you can see daylight through this part of the fender down here where the headlight bucket is welded to the fender. And repair all through here, all the way from here to here is rusty. So that stinks, but not totally unexpected. Well, here's a revolting development. This thing was stuck. Had to drill it out, pull it out, had to weld all that back. This holds the gas tank in, one of three. It's supposed to be threaded like this. This is had a nut on the back of it. Somebody cross-threaded it and broke it. So it hadn't been on there in, 30 years. Wet. Well, that was interesting. No more welding today. So I figured out what had happened there, albeit a day too late. Gas had previously been leaking from the original gas tank out of the front seam, and there was still some gas puddled in between the two layers of the gas tank support. I was lucky most of the gas had already evaporated before I started welding. All right, a little welding. This thing's welded in. I'll grind it down, paint it, move forward. Didn't blow up on me this time. Flappy. Here's the donor piece. Spot weld drilled out. patch welded up for our fender support bracket. Came off our donor car out there. Well, at least whoever put this carpet in there left the original sound pad in here. So I'll just glue the new carpet kit back to that. This was a Strosek, and it had a supercharged 3.0, belonged to the Rookie of the Year in the NFL at one point. Was a neat car. Pretty neat. Not anymore. It's toast. This was the actual Strosek before the fire. It was a 78 Targa converted to a Cabriolet by Strosek back in the day. In addition to the body kit, the car got a lavish interior and a supercharged engine. I ended up with the engine too, and I'll be rebuilding that for a different project. Look what's left of the wipers. That was hot. Haven't looked in the front yet. It's not looking that great in here. That battery's still good. Hood shocks work better than my car. Got this car for the suspension, and I believe it does have a Carrera cooler in it still. Holy cow. Man, did that get hot? Look at that. It's crazy. Pretty sad, really. The suspension, I think, is still going to be good. It wasn't that hot down this low. Interestingly enough, I bought a motorcycle from the same fire, and it had a line through the gas tank where it had everything on top had burned and everything on the bottom was okay. Here's that BMW from the video I was talking about I bought from the fire. When I got this bike, it literally had a line across the gas tank right here. And everything from here up was burned or melted. All the controls, the grips, and everything from here down was actually okay. In fact, these tires went through the fire and they were okay. There was still gas in the tank. So this bike came from the same fire that I got the Strosek from. Bad fire, got a lot of cars, but at least some of them were able to be salvaged. Strosek won't be salvaged. It does have a factory cooler and lines, so those are usable. Oh, wow, okay. And it looks like it does still have a Carrera cooler in the front, so that's certainly usable. I think I can save this lens. It certainly needs good buffing. All right, back on the turbo. There's the hot side. Coolish side. I don't know what happened to this nameplate. We're gonna have to fix that. Here's a K27. Problem area is this. That's end-to-end shaft play, and that shouldn't be in there. So we're going to take it to the shop and get a little work done on it. Okay, one cool thing we'll check out real quick is I got this turbo back from the G-Pop shop. It's a turbo rebuilder close to me. Family run place, it's really cool. Nice people, do really good work. Let's just check it out. Oh, look at that. New billet wheel. New ceramic coated hot side housing, Iconel wheel, and new bolts. Check the end of this out. Ported, polished. They really did a nice job. You know, they were nice enough to let me come to the shop, and I videoed the rebuild process of this turbo, which will be in the next video, which is super cool if you haven't seen that before, including use a balancing machine to balance the shaft, which will spin up to 200,000 RPMs. Super cool. Well, since I didn't blow myself up in that video, I still have rust to repair and I still have some patch panels to make. Not all that excited about it. I'm getting tired of it at this point. It'd be cool to start installing some of these cool parts, but what do you do? Well, as usual, back to the grind for me, and thank you everyone for watching. Is this thing on?